There we go. We are live. Welcome to the JVology show. I am Jay Fazette, the founder of JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit. And I got to get my little funky video looking the way I like it to look so that it has our little name behind it. And I am here today with my dear friend, Charles Byrd. And it is Charles Byrd's birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Jay. It's a pleasure to be here. I've dressed up for my birthday. That's why I have this paper tie my 9-year-old made me.
Perfect. I got to zoom in on that. Let us see. That is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so today we are jumping in because you've got a couple of cool things going on. But before we do that, there are a few things that we need to do to get sort of to get people knowing what's happening and where it's going and how it's working and all those things. So if you are new to the JVology show, let me just tell you a little bit about JVology. So JVology, the perfect mix of people, fun, and profit, is an astounding community that is made up of a ton of really brilliant human beings, much like my dear friend Charles, where we come together and support one another in redesigning our business models to have a consistent, steady stream of free leads at the front end of our business and recurring passive income at the back end of our business through building quality relationships, creating joint ventures, and serving our clients to solve their problems better. And Charles and I met quite some time ago, and in fact, we met at one of the things that we do called the JVology Summit, which is a premium invite-only high-end retreat that we do. In fact, I was just watching your video from Banff. We often do them out in Kananaskis in Canada, but we do them all over God's green earth as well. And we became fast friends. We had a whole bunch of fun and all those things. So if you're interested in supporting this domain in any way, shape, or form, the other way in which we do that is we do something called JVology Live. And I appear to just have some weird little stall there. We do JVology Live, which we just finished our first online version, and we have another one coming up in September, which will be pretty awesome. And I'm hoping that you're going to make it up here for the summit that follows it immediately. But we do everything in that domain. If you're interested in finding out about our events, you can click that link and check it out. And then the other thing I need to tell you is that if you're watching this from anywhere else on the internet, because we share these posts all over God's green earth, and you want to actually talk to Charles or talk to me or say hello, then you got to actually click on either the video or the little J Fazette thing that says a little link above the video, and it'll take you over to the broadcast page. And then you can say hello in the chat, and we can have a little conversation, and it would be awesome to hear from you. Okay, I think those are the biggies in terms of foundation, with the exception of I am obligated to play my little crazy video because I like to. And then Charles is going to tell us what he is up to in the world. All right, my Charles. Yes, fancy. In fact, I make it longer to do something because it's hardly enough time to get a sip of coffee, and then we're back.
Right.
Well, I know, but why don't you tell the world a little bit about who you are, what you're up to, because you got some fascinating shit going on right now.
Well, we try. Yeah, by the way, that video I posted, it came up in my Facebook timeline. That was 4 years ago.
Seriously? I didn't see the date on it. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, well, 4 years ago, and that was I'd been going to events for a little bit, but I had such a warm and fuzzy feeling coming out of JVology, the generosity, the brain power, the wisdom. So I thought you'd get a kick out of the fact, that's kind of when, we'd met each other before in different places, different groups we're both in, but that was the first time we got to actually hang out, and it's been a fun ride ever since.
It has too. I just got a little flash of you, me, Michelle, having inappropriate lunch conversation and laughing hysterically.
Till our stomachs hurt. Yeah, so the backstory is I worked in the Silicon Valley for 15 years. I was a director at a billion-dollar software company. I wanted to make a bigger positive impact in the world and have all that freedom that I read about that entrepreneurs have, and thought, hey, maybe I'll try that. So I committed to the process. This was my line in the sand where I was like, I'm going to figure this out no matter what the hell happens. And that commitment to the process was quite key. And I created my first product, as you know, a low ticket product in the productivity niche, had no audience, no connections, really just learning about marketing, and figured out very quickly that relationships are by far the fastest way to grow a business. And
which just on that note, that was the video you shot 4 years ago. That was the essence of that whole thing. That's so awesome.
yeah, and it's been true from the very first events I ever went to. I'm friends to this day with people in there, and now some of them are my clients. So it's really cool. Basically, I got very good at marketing that productivity course using joint ventures. And then I took that IT systems project management background and created a very frictionless workflow for managing information across your business that it's all about relationship building online and off. It's about following up and moving conversations forward. The whole point is connecting with people, listening to what their goals are, and providing value first. So it's never showing up asking for a favor. I was doing that interview with RJ earlier, and I was using those examples of those Facebook pings you get where there's someone you've never met in your life, and they're like, hey, I've got this new thing. Would you like to invest in it? Do you want a mail for my whatever? And you're just like, you are doomed until you figure out that's not how this works. I
just had somebody ask me, not just like, will you mail my shit out is one thing. I literally just had somebody do this who I do not know, who has raised $4 million and needs one more investor for $1 million to move her project forward and to build this thing she's building. And it's like she looked at my site and thought I might be a good match for that.
Straight out of the blue, $1 million.
Straight out of the blue. Yesterday.
Incredible. Anyway. Well, that's one of the reasons you and I have so much to contribute to the world, is we can educate on how things should be done. It's the process of digging the well before you're thirsty. And basically, this approach, it's a 4-step process. And step number 1 is how to become a human lead magnet, which is one of the big reasons for our conversation today, because we have a challenge that's kicking off on Monday called the Human Lead Magnet Challenge.
And I'm just getting that link in while you're talking, just so you know, I'm just in the link, and I'll get that in there so that people can get on it, okay?
Perfect. And I made a shortcut right before this call. It worked on my machine. Hopefully it works on everyone else's. It's j.humanleadmagnet.com.
And that takes them over to Messenger bot?
It
does.
That the
right spot? Okay, perfect.
It does.
There we go. I thought I was looking for a web page, but I was looking for the wrong thing. So I'm putting that in the chat as we speak.
Perfect. So this process, and I'll get back to the human lead magnet portion of it, but it's a 4-step process. How to become a human lead magnet, connecting with people online and off, building value first relationships. The next step is creating enlightened partnerships where both parties feel they're getting the better end of the deal. Then no lead left behind. This is about having fantastic systems for actually following up with those people you meet, because you've probably experienced this. I think probably 95% of people do not follow up after they've gone out of their way to fly across the country, go meet a bunch of people, and then they go home and their task list envelops them and they never get back to you.
Yeah.
And then
honest goodness, I'm guilty of it too. Like it's like sometimes it's like there's 27 people I'd love to follow up with, but so I totally get that.
Well, it's of course that happens to all of us, but many people never follow up with almost anybody. So if we can get them following up with 5 or 10 or more people, their odds of lining up some great opportunities go up vastly. And the last step in the process is sealing the deal. So the fun part about that is any conversation you're on, any call, you have an opportunity to listen to what people are up to, help shortcut their path to get there, whether that's directly through you and your services or through people you know. And you can kind of figure out, hey, is this a great joint venture partner? Would this person be an ideal client? Do I need what this person has? Can we become referral partners? And so every conversation can have a positive outcome. And that's literally what I do all day. There's positive outcomes from every conversation, and really cool things happen. I introduced one of my friends to another friend who just yesterday closed a $7,500 deal from that intro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's always looking out for other people while you're aligning ways you can be of support. And frequently that will be through your products or services or aligning JVs. I booked 5 JVs on 2 phone calls day before yesterday.
It's a shitty closing rate.
And I have 2 in the works. They're not logged in yet, but 2 in the works to lists over 500,000. And it's just from systematically building relationships, providing value. And it all starts with how to become a human lead magnet. So we wanted to,
Yeah, I want to pause you on this because I think sometimes people get lost in this process. And here's what I love about the name of your challenge, like the human lead magnet piece, is I have a whole bunch of people in my community that are absolutely certain that the magic trick is having a great ethical bribe or PDF or video or audio that they're going to give away and those sorts of things. And my stand has always been this like, yes, you should get that. But the honest goodness truth is, how about we just start with saying hello, all of those pieces. So I'm curious as to how you came up with the idea of the human lead magnet, because to me, it's like, it just declares it's like anyone can do this. If you're a human being, not an asshole. If you're a human being, you can do this. If you're a human being who's also an asshole, it's not going to work so good. But if you're a human being, you can do this. So how did you come to the name? Because I just really love it.
well, I had a different name. And one of my friends is Marisa Murgatroyd. She
Yes.
happens to be damn good at naming things. So I was at her house, and she was like, your 5-step process is not sexy. Here's what it is. And she just spit that out. And it fit so well. And everyone in the room was like, that's what Charles does. So it's perfect, which is, of course, why she came up with it. But props to her, because she
She's
came
brilliant.
up with that off the top of her head, like it was an afterthought. It was like, what? Okay. And really, it just resonated because that is the point. Connecting with people online, connecting with people at events, you become the magnet, and you can do it whether you're brand new to the space or whether you're highly advanced and connected. The same principles work just as effectively between those 2 realms, because the fact is that is where I started, and that is how I progressed so quickly, was systematically building relationships, always looking to provide value, and conversation after conversation, listening to what other people are great at, who they serve, what their audiences are. Now you have a resource you can refer other people to when you're talking to them, and you hear, hey, I need a copywriter, we're redoing this site. And you go, cool, here's 3 people I can introduce you to.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's
So I just realized by this whole thing that my mic was like 4 miles away and it was like, I'm watching you talking. It's like, Charles sounds good. And then it's like, why is my mic 7 feet away? Anyway, if it suddenly got louder, folks, you know why.
we could hear you the whole time, though. So
Okay, good.
we're in good shape there.
So talk to me about the challenge and how the challenge is broken up, because you and I and our mutual friend Alina, we're all pretty big fans of challenges, and I love them for a bunch of different reasons. So when does the challenge start? What are the primary takeaways going to be from the challenge? How do we sort of magnetize the human beings that are going through the challenge?
Sure. So we made this very simple, and it is built on Alina's system. I'm excited to get this challenge out because it's at least 6 months in the making. Um, it's been a while. And Alina personally helps me with it. You've given me input, which is always appreciated. So the point of this challenge is we all have connections that have kind of fallen along the wayside. These are people we know. Maybe we've worked with them in the past. Maybe we were interested in doing a joint venture with them in the past. We ran into them at an event, but we didn't exactly follow up. So we're in each other's orbit. We know each other. This is a very simple framework to sit down, identify 5 people, and just re-engage. This is starting to like their posts or shoot them a text if you are connected that way. Just reconnect and move toward getting on a call, because connection equals opportunity. And that's where you can take that call to all those other positive outcomes, whether they are direct sales, booking joint ventures, creating referral partnerships. And it's literally what I do all day and teach people to do, and they immediately start getting results. And it's just beautiful to watch because it's a learnable skill, and people like being remembered and connected with, and it just opens up all kinds of doors. So we're starting at the basics, come up with 5 people that you want to re-engage with. And as a group, hundreds and hundreds of us in the Facebook group that goes along with this challenge. Hey, look, it's Deirdre.
Yeah.
Hi. We're going through this together, not to mention the people in this group are great connection opportunities for you as well. So the challenge kicks off on Monday, the 29th. We have 25 partners supporting this, including Gina Gabellini, including Davin Michaels, and so many others, Heather, and just a lot of support, RJ, and a lot of people actually from the JVology community.
Yeah, as we were listing them off, and I've gotten emails from most of them.
Yeah, and you know, I book a lot of JVs, but what's been interesting about this challenge is I'll just mention we're doing it, and people will go, hey, can I mail for that? Like, it's unique when people just volunteer. You're not even, I didn't ask one person to promote this. I just so cool. mentioned it, and they were like, I want to be part of that.
Which, by the way, and this is one of the things I really admire about you, is that you are one of the people who contributes, gives, keeps track of in epic and stunning ways. And that does not surprise me in any way, shape, or form. And I know people who struggle like mad to get a partner and are asking and banging doors, but it's like they didn't, in your words, build the well first. And this is, to me, just direct feedback of 4 years of deliberate using of the strategies you're teaching in the challenge that caused that. Like, most people have bent over backwards, have 25 people mailing or supporting, let alone have that happen without asking. So gang, just to be clear about this, if you're wondering if you should or if you shouldn't, it's like, you want 25 partners calling you saying, can I support? Like, that's the difference.
Yeah, actually, when you say it like that, yeah, that is kind of, well, it's all I do is teach what I do all day, and it works really, really well. So the people who go through our programs and different things like that, they get the results. I mean, it's almost impossible not to, as you know, with any of your well-designed programs, if people put in the work, they're going to get the results. Yep. So making that as simple as possible, giving them a framework to do so. And step one is improving the relationships in your world. And that's what this challenge is all about. So it's very exciting to bring this at such a broad scale, because usually I'm doing JVs one at a time. It's been actually quite a while since we had a bunch of partners on board, and it barely was intended. They just kept wanting to jump in. So
that's so awesome.
It's pretty fun. In fact, I have a whole wave of partners asking when the next challenge is so they can promote it. It's pretty fun when Brian Tracy's team is like, hey, when's your next challenge?
That is awesome. Awesome. Okay, so 3 things that I want to be clear about. Number 1, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charles. Happy birthday to you. If I could rap, I would have rapped it for you, because I know that you have a art for that. That's number 1. Number 2 is this. I love the idea of what the challenge is. And I want to just encourage absolutely anyone and everyone who is looking for a little bit of a foothold, a little bit of a re-engagement, a little bit of higher level strategy. While we're still coping with COVID and all of the pieces that are going on here, the truth is most of us have a little bit of extra time. We're not on planes, trains, and automobiles. We're not, consuming time in that manner. This is one of the highest leverage challenges and one of the highest leverage activities you'll do in your entire business. And frankly, you might as well learn it from the best. So just for crying out loud, get in the challenge. And then here's the last part about the challenge. I know you designed it using Alina's process, which means that it's tight and it's short. This is not a make work project, my friends. This is one of those things that is like, here's the activity, get the thing done, make the post, and it is a momentum builder. So don't worry about time and those sorts of things. But if you start, you damn well better finish. You don't be one of those dingbats that are registering for 1,400 things and don't complete it. Do this one because it'll work. And I think those are my 3 points that I wanted to make sure I had in there. Closing thoughts to you, brother, about getting people into the challenge and reaping the rewards of great relationships.
Yeah, pop over to j.humanleadmagnet.com. And this is actually very, very painless. We've designed it to be simple. It's rewarding. You're going to start reconnecting with the heroes in your world that they already know you. They already like you. They're people in your orbit today. And it will give you an opportunity to re-engage, get some momentum, get some conversations started that will lead to JVs. They will lead to sales. And so we'll just give you a very simple framework. We'll go through it together. We'll build momentum together, hold each other accountable, and we're creating a beautiful community around it. So, Jay, I want to personally thank you for your support and mentorship, and you've always been there for me, and I certainly appreciate it.
Hey, my absolute pleasure. I lost my second monitor. I can hear you talking, but I can't see anything. So I'm going to say great. It is always my pleasure to support and assist and to do everything we can. We'll get a couple of posts over in the JVology group and those sorts of things as well, because there's a ton of people in our community that should be playing and participating. And I think that is it, brother. You go take the rest of the day off and have a ton of fun with your lovely wife and kids, and we will see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Jay. What's up to the JVology community? j.humanleadmagnet.com.
Perfect. Thank you. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Jay.
Now, I don't. Just to be clear about this, I have no idea how to end this because I can't find the video because it was on the other. It was on the other screen. So we may just be broadcasting for a really long time. I think the only way I'm going to succeed at ending this is to quit Safari all the way across. All right, gang. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
See you, Jay.